Sa iwan lang to para ma-obligate NDF na ituloy yung usap sa kasi without complying do sa agreement ng pag-release ng mga consultants. May nakikita ba kayong gano'n o papunta na po talaga sa talagang total scrapping ng TOS at kumbaga atas na sila formally dito sa TOS?
Yung negative actions like declaring the JASIG inoperative at saka iba pang earlier parang attacking the Hague Joint Declaration and the JASIG parang gives indications na baka kagaya ni Cory Aquino noong 1987 matapos yung nag-break down yung talks dahil sa Mindiola Massacre, she unsheathed the sword of war. So we see the danger that it might be going that way. Kaya ang statement ni Fidel Agawili of today, sinasabi, warns very strongly about that danger. It could also be, as he said, it might be Saiwar to make the NDF agree to continue the talks while agreements already signed are not complied with. It could mean trying to push us along the track of some kind of arrangement that is close to surrender. Pero we are making it known to them very clearly that we will not agree to that. We will try our best to put the peace talks on track and counter, with the help of the public and positive forces, to counter the negative actions undertaken and still push towards serious talks addressing the roots of the armed conflict. But that is certainly a possibility. What we are just saying right now is President Aquino must take the decision. He must take the responsibility as the political leader on the GPA side. Of course, the NDF leadership must also take a decision at a certain point. Right now, the decision of the NDF leadership is not to give up and still try. That's why we are here. Kung wala na yung JASIG, then we will be subject to arrest. According to the agreement, one party can terminate the talks by written notice, and we have 30 days to get out of the country safely. but you know, the Norwegian facilitator is coming, and we'll be talking to peace advocates, to certain persons. Our position right now is still try to solve the problems with the positive forces available, try to overcome the obstacles. But if it cannot be done, then we have no other option because it takes two to tango naman. No? What we hate to do would be that all those people we met with such deep sentiments, very sincere desire to have peace talks as a possible way of resolving the armed conflict by addressing the roots, it will be a pity because it will be a big letdown. It will be a big letdown to so many people. But that's why we think we should try our very best and not give up. So that's the danger. And if it's a Saiwar that they might be trying to do, we're telling them already clearly, we don't want basic agreements already signed and approved by the principals to be just disregarded, just to say it's only goodwill according to our whim. No, for both sides it has to be a solemn agreement that must be respected by both sides and will give confidence to each other, but also to the people of the Philippines who want really serious talks. And that's why when the local government officials in Davao were bringing up their points, and then I gave the idea, why don't you push for a representative of the LGUs to participate in the talks so your voices can be heard. And Vice Governor Subiri of Bukidnon said, will you oppose such a move? And I said, we will support it firmly, that there will be such representative. We think the broader the representation of the peace negotiations, the better. There could be a representative from the Senate, could be a representative from the House of Representatives, there could be a representative from the LGUs. So officially, their voice can be heard. So anyway, we think along that line. But anyway, we're not yet that far, but there are dangerous signals. But we want to find a way that President Aquino and those in the political leadership will see that if they consider the peace negotiations as a top priority because the people of the Philippines want it so, then they have to take the decisive actions. No? And I think also the MILF, after the rejection of the 3-in-1 coffee solution, they will want to have peace negotiations that seriously address their demand for, serious expression of their right to self-determination, their right to decide their own affairs and their future with that long history of struggle. And so we have conveyed to them also, in the spirit of the alliance that the NDFP has with the MILF, that we should share and also help each other. For example, if there are human rights violations against the Moro people, the organizations within the sphere of the NDFP will also carry that and say they are also political prisoners. Brother Edward Guerra, who had come to Utrecht to share with us, he should be released because he's a major person in the peace negotiations.
Central Committee.
Oh, in the Central Committee. So, as we also demand for Alan Asmines and the other NDF consultants, I think we also clearly support the positions of the MILF to also advance the peace negotiations. So, I think Father Julia.
Can I pose a question that I can also okay. Actually, Louis, my interest in coming here is that the offer, I remember, that's why I would like to listen that on the offer, the special offer, the special trust that you offer the government, that you mentioned earlier in your talk. So, since nakikialam din man ako, hindi lang sa pagitan ng usapin ng Moro at saka ng Pilipinas, pati naman sa inyo kasi naman total o Mindanao, so hindi man po pinanghawakan ng Moro, no? But there was a question in terms of that offer of special track. I think some people in government were threatened by the word alliance, no? Yung word alliance. Kaya nga narinig ko, mag-a-alliance pala yung progressive people in government, with National Democratic Front, with the Progressive Party system, coming together and perhaps forming a coalition government alliance. Isa yung nakapag. Second, during that conversation, and this will be tough for people in government also, there were serious in releasing the 17. From what I gathered in the discussion, the 17 that you demanded part of the JASI. And that's why they dared open the disket. And then immediately I know because I asked, So they told me they could not, this is encrypted, they cannot access the list to be able to verify whether the 17 are indeed consultants of the NDF. And then really moving towards the release of the 70, as far as I know, no, from that side. Kaya nga parang napikon ata, including Alex Padilla, when they discovered the whole thing is encrypted and they cannot open it. And then they said, nagalit na, kasama ko nung magagalit sila. Ako was school only, no? And they were mad at the encryption of the diskette and they cannot open it. Ang point ko lang din it's kind of that's why I told them, siguro naman, as you beautifully said in the paper, that it is not sole, it's the sole basis for the jacksing, yung listing, As a matter of fact, in the past, you never resorted to the opening of the document as well as opening the safe, see, for the verifications of those consultants, either of the NDF or the Philippine government. Ang sabi, valid also to the moral standing regulation about it. Do you trust us? It's a question of trust, whether the government trusts Jalandoni and company, I don't know whether trust Padilla and company, something like that. That the release of prisoners on the basis of justice can be taken as a question of recognizance, which is also allowed in our jurisprudence, That on the basis of recognizance of the NDA panel, there are these 17 legal consultants. So you don't have to resort to open the deposit safe. And then verify in the records whether there are consultants or not. Because the mere opening of the deposit, the safe deposit, shows all the lack of trust. So if you lack that basic trust, you're going to move forward in the negotiation. That's what I've been telling them. So you need not open the safe deposit to determine whether these are consultants or not. The mere fact, as I said, I believe that the NDF panel says that there are consultants. On that basis, they can be released. Recognizance. I can release prisoners on the question of my recognizance because you don't trust me. You see, it's a matter of trusting the persons of negotiators. That's why the basic question is that you cannot move forward if the trust is no longer there. So I don't know how we to comment on that.
First,
including on the alliances.
First, on the question of alliance and truce. I think that this offer is a bold and innovative, out-of-the-box offer. Alliance and truce with the Aquino government. It contains risks for both sides. But it does not mean capitulation of one. It can be a coalition government. It could be a Council of National Unity that has representatives from both and also from sectors like LGUs or NGOs. It could be. Basta both sides agree. It's bold and innovative. Of course, it requires people who are bold and innovative to think out of the box. Now, with regards to the opening, yes, there have been already prisoners who were released without opening the safety deposit box. We had Sotero Llamas, Dan Borjal. There were those who were released on recognizance. Recognizance to Bishop Ramento, recognizance to Bishop Tomas Millamena, Obispo Maximo of the Independent Church, recognizance to a Catholic bishop or so. So this has been a practice that has been done, no need. The JASIC also says that the document of identification issued by the NDFP and the letter of acknowledgement issued by the GPS, GRP at the time, is sufficient to have the effective release of the safety and immunity. And this has been done also recently with Pencio Balweg, with Maria Lucy Portray, with Iserio Peña, with Jaime Soledad. Now, the 1996 agreement regarding the assumed names, that means of the 85 who were on the list, 12 of us who are known already, we don't have to use assumed names. Connie, ako, Joma, Julie De Lima, Fidel Acawili, we don't need that. We use our real names. But they should not arrest us because we use our real names. It's supposed to be agreed. We are participating in the peace talks. So the JASIC gives protection even to those who don't have this document of identification. But in the 1996 agreement, it was agreed that for further verification, one party can ask that the photos be checked, that these are deposited in a safety deposit box with an Archbishop in Utrecht and Bishop Milamena as the third-party depositary. Unfortunately, in 2007, the police raided our offices, and they took so many of our files, all our computers, diskettes, laptops, everything that they could get. I think they got about 40 folders of mine on the peace talks. Now, they also took the diskettes, 5 diskettes that were needed to decrypt the photos that were encrypted. It was a decision of the NDF leadership that the photos should be encrypted because if it is intercepted, then the real names and the photos will be exposed, and that would put those who were underground in danger and their families. That was agreed by both sides, also by Howard D. at the time. So unfortunately, this could not be decrypted. So I've written Alex and said, we can reconstitute that and put it in a safer external drive, and we can deposit it within 2 months. But in the meantime, let's have the talks in September. So it's also a matter of trust. That means if they say, for example, that this person has been participating in the talks, and we know that then they will be also covered. Then they won't be arrested by the NPA. And when we say, well, here are 13 more that should be released, then you can say, well, this one can be released on recognizance. That was during the time of Fidel Ramos, done quite often, on recognizance. And this can be released on humanitarian grounds because he has been severely tortured and he is sick. So it's easy in the spirit of pursuing the talks to find a solution. That's why I was thinking, if you say bold and innovative, and you look for solutions. We think somebody like Attorney Pablito Sanidad in the GPH panel before, but he resigned. He's one who looks for solutions. Problems come up, as there would be in any serious and difficult matter like peace negotiations. Problems come up, but if both sides agree to look for solutions, the solutions can be found. And I agree with you, it's important on the basis of trust. That's why we say, if there is a word of honor, if there is an agreement already signed, there is a promise that this will be done, then it should be complied with, because then it will inspire and strengthen the trust and confidence between both sides. It's really within the reach of both sides to do that. So anyway, it's an important thought. And I'm glad you mentioned bold and innovative, because this offer of alliance and truce does not mean capitulation of the government. It means both sides working together against poverty, against the unjust agreements like giving to foreign corporations all these mining concessions of 100,000 hectares for 50 years. You could give that as land reform to 25,000 peasants or 25 peasants among the indigenous people, the Luman, or among the Moro people. You will have enough land that will be available for land reform. You will have enough riches that can be used by the Filipino people and not be taken by foreign mining corporations. There are so many of these FTAA, Financial and Technical Assistance Agreement, for 50 years. It gives all the rights, lumber rights, water rights, and also mining rights. So anyway, I think the measure of trust and also bold and innovative.
Special track, yeah.
A special track. And I think also in the regular track, both sides will have to use their, you might say, bold and innovative in seeking solutions to problems that come up.
I remember, Kalumi, meron po kayong pinakita previous forum. Sorry. Meron po kayong pinakita dun sa previous forum kung ano yung nilalaman ng special track na proposal for alliance and truce. Available po ba yun?
Available yung special track dyan sa Green Book on Peace Agreements. I think it's page 187. 2 pages lang yata yan kasi there are 10 points. And then sinasabi, on the basis of this, there can be an immediate